until the morning. So perhaps over the next hour or two, we can start to figure out if there's something else that can be done, if anyone can drop supplies off to where the boats are letting people off to get supplies back. And I know that all of that's much easier said than done, just because, as we said, logistically, there's not one spot back there. There's not a gathering place where everyone is waiting for the next boat. I'm sure people are spread out all through their neighborhoods. So I'm guessing trying to distribute items would be extremely difficult tonight.
Yeah, especially in the rain and the wind out there. But you do have to wonder, Ted, if there's one or two boats that can make it back there at night in the dark, if nothing else, they might be able to hand out some of those much needed supplies to people.
Well, and even here at this underpass, there are an awful lot of people who get out once they are out, and until the school buses come, could use some sort of warmth and some sort of water. So it's right at the Beltway in Tidwell. There's probably still 100 people here waiting on a bus. Now, no guarantee they're still going to be here, and there's going to be more coming. But I can guarantee that someone here would love to have a couple towels and a bottle of water.
Absolutely. Beltway and Tidwell. This is obviously still going to be a staging ground for at least the next few hours. We're certainly not encouraging people to hop in their cars and get out and start driving, but perhaps you are near this area and you're able to make it around okay. And you're absolutely right. Just to take some basics, we've seen so many small children and so many of the elderly, and just blankets and towels would probably at least do something, and perhaps there's more that can be done.
As we continue to see people come along.
That's true.
Ted, one last question about those big dump trucks you were talking about, and we saw a lot of people in the back of one, a couple of dozen as they got out. Are they able to travel back there? Yeah, the dump trucks. Obviously, they are much more suited for younger, nimbler people, but are they able to travel back in that area and pick people up even after dark?
Is that your truck? Is that your truck? Oh, okay. Oh, hey, Harvey. Hey, I'm live on Channel 13. How are you? So, you're asking me, are you guys able to go back there in the dark?
Sounds like we're starting to lose his microphone through all that water that he's standing in and all of that weather.
Yeah, a little bit of distance from his cameraman as well. That may be a problem.
So perhaps we can get those answers in a moment about whether or not the truck could actually keep moving back there.
Ted, we were having a little bit of difficulty hearing you. What did he say?
She said that yes, they are going to try and keep going back. Yeah. Right. How many? She said there are more people. They know there are more people, and they want to get them out. So they are going to try and make at least one more trip. Yeah, but after that, you think the darkness might keep you. Yeah. So one more trip. That's about 70 more people. How many people have you seen? 100 are back there. And the question and the thought was, I mean, do they have anything? Do they even have blankets and towels and stuff? Oh, okay, they're under a roof. Okay, it's someone's house. Oh, okay, all right, good. Well, that's good news. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. So one more trip, and then let me ask the constables if they're taking their big truck here again. Hey, man, will you guys be able to work through the night? They're asking me on air.
Not sure. We're trying to do whatever we can with our boats. The darker it gets, the harder it is for the boats to see. So.
Yeah. What about the trucks?
The trucks are working. We're so many people from here to Wallaceville.
But are you guys able to get back into the water back there?
We're able to get back into the water indeed with some boats.
Okay.
But there's no power, so it gets dark, so some of our boats can't see back here.
All right, cool. Thank you. So some limited work will go on despite the darkness, but not as much as people need back there. Wow, look at that.
Here comes the rain.
A little bit of a traffic jam here.
And a traffic jam,
yeah.
And Ted, you're pretty tall and visible, but we do kind of want you out of the center of all those big old trucks, just to be safe.
Yep. I moved. Yes. No, Even for a big guy, that truck is a big boy.
Absolutely,
So I
absolutely.
got out of the way for sure.
Well, and that is some really good news that they're going to give it at least one more try to go back there and pick up a few more people. I'd like to think that at least some of them will be able to get out tonight and on to a shelter and hopefully warm and dry pretty quickly.
And we're gonna,
Let's hope.
just standing
Let's hope.
by. Yeah, we've gotta hope that they're able to keep that operation going. We are waiting for a press conference from the Flood Control District and probably the Office of Emergency Management about updating the reservoir situation that we have heard they are continuing to release water from. And so as soon as that begins, we're going to bring that to you live, because it's very important that we keep an eye on what's happening with the reservoirs, and then we'll keep this picture up for you during that press conference so that you can still see what's happening in the water, and as Ted is standing right now next to a four-wheeler on the ground as well.
Yeah, and Ted, we just we have to thank you. No, please go ahead.
Oh, no, I was talking to Mike. Mike, how nervous are you that, look, at some point here we're going to have to stop? You said the water's getting too high and now it's dark.
It's getting pretty dark. This thing right here goes about to this guy's waist.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on my brother, his wife, and his baby to come. I've been out here since about, I'll say a little before 5, trying to get to them. And I still haven't been able to, even with this being built for mud and water, before 5, trying to get to them. And I still haven't been able to, even with this being built for mud and water, it's still tough to get back there. So
Yeah, and so you're waiting on your family to come out.
yeah, I'm waiting on my brother and his wife, and they have an infant child. I have my truck parked up there,
Ready to
so
go.
that way I could get them to safety.
I know it's an agonizing wait.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. God bless you and them.
Same here.
All right. Okay. You guys, on to other stuff. We'll keep the picture up so you can see what's going on here, and I'll let you know. You let me know when you want to know more from here, and I'll keep my eyes out.
Well, Ted, you and Mike Machaka have just done an amazing job, and we appreciate it so much. But we are going to go off to the presser, and hopefully you will update us.
Initially, first on the evacuation orders we have for 2 levees in Harris County, 2 subdivisions. We have a mandatory evacuation for the Inverness Forest subdivision. The Inverness Forest Improvement District and the Harris County Flood Control are calling for a mandatory evacuation as soon as possible due to the high water and rising water levels in Cypress Creek and the possible failure of the stormwater pumps. The mandatory evacuation applies to streets north of Kingsbridge Road, including East and West Greenbrook Drive and Kinchester Drive. While the pump station is currently operational, it is struggling to lift against the high water level in Cypress Creek, which is above a 500-year event. If water levels continue to rise on the detention side inside the levee, it will get into the electrical system and shut down the pumps. For more information, please contact the Harris County Flood Control District at 713-684-4000. Residents should evacuate all family members and pets. In addition, they should take all medication and important papers such as insurance policies with them. For locations, the Inverness Forest Clubhouse at 12618 Greenbrook Drive and the Pine Multi-Purpose Building at 7500 FM 2920 are being used as shelters. Again, that is for the Inverness Forest subdivision. The second situation is on Spring Creek at the Northwood Pines subdivision of the Northgate Levee. The Northgate Crossing Municipality Utility District Number 1 has announced that due to worsening conditions of Spring Creek, a mandatory evacuation from the neighborhood is necessary. This includes the Northwood Pines subdivision. It is possible, if conditions continue at the current rate, that they may be unable to leave the subdivision after 11 p.m. Northwood Pines residents should prepare for immediate mandatory evacuation. Please exit the subdivision along I-45 South and proceed to Spring High School located at 19428 I-45 in Spring for shelter. To reach Spring High School, exit Cypress Wood Drive and turn left. The high school is located on the left. Please note that the mandatory evacuation is only for the Northwood Pines subdivision located in in Northgate Crossing Mud Number 1. It is not intended for the Northgate subdivision located south of the Hardy Toll Road. All residents should evacuate all family members and pets, and in addition, they should take all medications and important papers such as insurance policies. So those are the two situations with mandatory evacuations in Harris County right now because of levee situations. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to the Corps of Engineers to give an update on the operations of Addicks and Barker reservoirs.
Good evening. My name is Edmund Russo with the Army Corps of Engineers, Galveston District. This is a set of talking points on the Addicks and Barker Reservoir Dam System. This summary follows our last media report, which was made at 2 p.m. today. As of 5 p.m. today, the pool elevation at Addicks is 105 feet, which is up from 103.3 feet at 2 p.m. today. The pool elevation as of 5 p.m. today at Barker is 99.19 feet, which is up from 97.9 feet at 2 p.m. today. Both of these pools extend beyond government-owned reservoir land. These are both record highs above the April 2006 pool levels that were reached. Westheimer Parkway is inundated in Barker. Highway 6, Eldridge Parkway, and Clay Road in Addicks are inundated. To date, approximately 30 inches of rain has fallen in the watersheds upstream of Addicks and Barker. Estimates from the National Weather Service on rainfall above Addicks and Barker from today through the remainder of the tropical event is about 10 inches. This estimate is down from the previous estimate from yesterday of 25 inches. The Corps of Engineers started water releases from both Addicks and Barker today. The intent is to maintain the ability to control releases to the extent possible before uncontrolled releases would begin. Additionally, controlled releases reduce the magnitude and duration of uncontrolled releases, potentially decreasing the impacts of flooding. In the current event conditions, there's a potential for uncontrolled releases at the Addicks spillway. The spillway flows at Addicks would just begin at the low natural ground at the end of the spillway if the pool elevation reaches 108 feet. That elevation for Barker is 104 feet. We're getting closer to these points. At 2 p.m., we estimated that Addicks is discharging about 2,600 cubic feet per second, or CFS, and Barker about 2,100 CFS, for a combined total outflow of 4,700 CFS down Buffalo Bayou. We continue to raise the gates slowly at the structures in controlled incremental amounts. As of 5 p.m., these discharge rates are approximately 3,800 CFS and 3,500 CFS respectively, for the combined total of 7,300 CFS down Buffalo Bayou. The goal is to reach release rates of 4,000 CFS at both Addicks and Barker for a combined discharge down Buffalo Bayou of 8,000 CFS. We estimate the dams will approach this target combined discharge rate tomorrow. No decisions have been made to increase planned discharge rates above this amount. Dam releases are expected to occur for several months following the storm event. Releases from Addicks and Barker constitute about 20% of the total flow of Buffalo Bayou, with the remaining 80% attributable to watershed runoff below the dams into the Bayou network. With the rainfall still occurring downstream in reaches of Buffalo Bayou and tributaries, as well as with the discharge of water from Addicks and Barker, the elevation of the bayou is holding fairly steady and may take several days to recede. The Corps of Engineers is rerunning models with the revised rain forecast to estimate the extent and timing of flooding below and above Addicks and Barker, beyond the extreme rain event flooding that has already occurred. We are also performing modeling to better understand when uncontrolled discharge might occur around the northern end of Attucks. In the scenario spillway overflow occurs, these flows have potential to be